So in my own opinion, what makes having friendships difficult, I think, is twofold. Number one, the list of DSM criteria on borderline or borderline personality traits is widely available. I welcome you to check it. There's lots of quizzes, there's lots of workbooks out there. The traits that I find the most difficult to deal with are probably the abandonment, thinking I'm going to be alone, or that I'm unworthy, or there's something defective with me. It used to be that if a friendship imploded, it was my fault, right? I did something, I'm the defective one. It must be the personality disorder. It couldn't be anything else, okay? But I really struggle with that, and I think that can come across in a few things, right? Like, if you don't respond to my first text, I might send another text. If I don't hear from you, I sometimes might assume the worst, that you're mad at me or you've blocked me. This has become a lot more manageable over the years. There's a lot to be said about waiting and seeing things out. That's not always easy to do if you struggle with impulsiveness. But I like to think of myself as very giving and warm and outgoing and empathic, and I want to know about people. I care about people. If I'm hosting a party, I want to know, do you need another drink? Have you had enough to eat? Are you warm enough? I'm very concerned with that. So the second part is, do we choose the right people? So my first contributory factor in this is, am I pushing people away through my own abandonment and emotional reactivity? And the second piece to this that I want to explore is, am I choosing the right people? No, I don't think that, generally speaking, I choose, the right people. To sum this up, I think that people with borderline desperately want to be wanted, and they want to be a part of something. And if you are like me, you are estranged from your family, you don't have a lot of support network, it's you've learned to rely on you. And while that strength is a source of strength and is wonderful, it can also be a real sense of loneliness that comes with that. So I think that because I don't want to be lonely, that I want to have a lot of friends, that I want to feel a part of a community, I don't always vet friends well enough, and I let a lot of people in my life that maybe shouldn't be let into my life, and they come with their own issues. Let's not forget the law of attraction, right? I think that narcissists are highly drawn to borderlines. So if you're a borderline and someone tells you you're a narcissist, you're not. You want to know why? Because narcissists are not drawn to other narcissists. Narcissists are drawn to empaths and people that they can really get warmth and support and admiration from. And guess what? That's who we are. Borderlines are. So I have noticed there's been a big pattern in my life that I will let people in my life that I generally find I am doing more for than I am getting more from. I'm the one that will go bring gas to a friend whose car ran out of gas. I'm the one that will, come over an emergency. I'm the one that will listen and be there and host for Thanksgiving. But oftentimes, we are also attracting people that are either advantageous or are not healthy themselves. And a big part that plays into part one is that impulsivity, that emotional impulsivity. Like, I want to have people around, so let me just quantity over quality. And in the beginning, I will let people in maybe and not be as thoughtful, or I'll see warning signs, but right, I'll give many chances. And over time, I'm like, this person's making me really unhappy. This person has their own mental illnesses that they aren't addressing as seriously, right? However, I still feel really alone a lot of the time. I have a couple of close friends, I do. And, but they're not always available. Would I love to have more? Yes. But often what happens is I go into this place where I'm like, these people don't like me. It's my fault. I'm bad. I'll never get over my borderline. But you know what? I don't think that's always the case. Yes, these relationships may have deteriorated, and I've played a part in that. However, you know, I am not the same person that I was 15, 10, 5 years ago, right? Like, I don't end friendships immediately. I don't end relationships immediately, right? Like now I get a pattern of time, you know, now my friendships don't last 6 months, maybe they last 2 years. And then I'm like, well, you know, I've noticed this pattern of behavior and I don't like it. I don't like how I feel after we hang out, and that's not okay. And I think it's easy to assume that this must be my fault. I'm the borderline. It must be my fault. Things that are really triggering for me to hear people say are, I feel like I have to be careful about what I say around you or walk on eggshells with you. Maybe that's true. You know, maybe I can do better at that. But are you with a friend who has their own personality disorder? Are you with someone who is a poor communicator? Are you with someone who's a narcissist? Because if so, those can be very triggering situations where they're not telling you how you feel or how they feel, and they're not being open with you. And so by virtue of that, you are more vigilant, right? Like, what's going to happen next? Like, what are they going to say? Like, and that's a bad sign as well. I started this channel and specifically this video because I had this happen to me last night. I have had a friend, she's also been a client for a few years now. I run my own business, and she deals with some of her own issues, but the way that I have been treated in the last few days, few months, several months, have left me feeling and walking away from this relationship bad, sometimes in tears. Talk about walking on eggshells, you know, that's how I have felt. You know, sometimes I'll get a door slammed in my face because this person is in a really super bad mood. Other times they want to chat all day and text and send funny pictures. You know, one minute they may be fine to hang out, and the next minute, you know, like they don't want to hear, you know, you make them sick, you know, they don't want to be around you. So I don't have all the answers, obviously, but I do, my ultimate goal is to have a bigger community of friendships and be a really good friend. And I'd love to hear, you know, from you watching, if you've had BPD or BPD traits, you know, what's made it hard for you to keep friendships going? Do you agree or disagree with me? Do you think that you perhaps pick people who aren't the best and you let them in? Or do you think that you push friends away because of your anger or impulsiveness or something of that nature? Or is it both? I really want to know. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jen, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.